This is going to direct you to ECUATESOL website, no? So if you want to have more information about ECUATESOL in Ecuador or TESOL International, you can go through this QR code or visit our website, which is ECUATESOL. And a part of that, we have different ways of connecting with everyone, with all the English teachers in Ecuador. We have our Instagram page, where you can follow us. You can, the same thing as questions or upload any pictures or informations about ECUATESOL and about the things that you are doing in all your institutions. The same thing, we as ECUATESOL, this year 2025, everyone can register as a member. We are not charging any fee, so it's gonna be for free this year. In 2025, you can register, you can be part of ECUATESOL, and then in the future, you can be part of the board as well, because that's the idea, and that's our mission and our objective as the board of ECUATESOL, is that you, the English teachers, can belong, can be part of this association, and then this association is for you. We want this association to be inclusive, to be the place where we can belong, and to be the place that we can develop our skills and we can practice our professional practices with all teachers around Ecuador and around the world. This is the registration. If you scan this QR code, it will direct you to the forms that we have. You will have to complete very simple information about your personal information, your professional background, and then you can be part, you can belong to ECUATESOL. A part of that, we have our ECUATESOL WhatsApp network. The same thing, you can make a screenshot or you can follow us and do what in this WhatsApp group, we are promoting everything that ECUATESOL is doing. The same thing, if you want to contact us, you can do it through this way, if it's direct. Right now, everyone uses WhatsApp. So I think it's the easiest way to connect with us and with teachers from different institutions. So these are the different ways that we are promoting that you can connect with us. As I repeat again, we as ECUATESOL, we are the charging for a membership, so you can be part of our ECUATESOL network, and we can continue working. We are going to have in the future elections, so you can be part of the board as well. You can promote yourself, like to be the president, the vice president, the secretary, or be member of different places and cities. It depends on where you live. So you can be part of the board of ECUATESOL in the future. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free at the end of this session to ask any questions in the chat. The same thing, if you are part of the ECUATESOL network, you can ask questions or you can visit us in our social media, our social network. This is our email, the direct contact email address that we have for ECUATESOL. So it is ecuatesol@gmail.com. So this is the way that you can send any messages, any requests if you need any information, no? And as I always mention, no, teaching English is not just about conveying languages. It's not only about proficiency of the language as well. It's about empowering voices, bridging cultures, and unlocking the potential for global understanding. Remember that we are teaching another language, and this language is global. So as we want to encourage our students to learn another language, we have to encourage ourselves to open globally to different teachers, to different institutions. And ECUATESOL in Ecuador and TESOL International around the world are the places that you can belong as a teacher, no? So connecting and uniting the TESOL community. Now, let me explain a little bit more about what is this webinar series. As an ECUATESOL, we are organizing with different professionals, standard professionals, national and international professionals from the English educational field. We have asked to these professionals to help us sharing their expertise through different webinars. I know that sometimes it's a little difficult to be in face-to-face meetings or to connect face-to-face or to travel from one place to another one. So this year, 2025, we as the board of ECUATESOL, with the sponsorship of the University of Yachay University is one of our sponsors now, is the partner university in Ecuador. We signed an agreement with Yachay, so we are promoting through ECUATESOL, Yachay Tech University, TESOL International, and the U.S. Embassy and the Department of the State of the U.S. Embassy in Ecuador. We are promoting this round of webinars this year. So 2025, every month, we are going to have two specialists with different topics. They are going to talk about how important it is to belong in associations. They are going to talk about new and different methodologies, techniques, strategies that you can go and apply in your classes. They are going to talk about different professionals, English field topics that we can be part on. So this round of webinars will last for 2025, two specialists every month. So through social media, through email, and through our website, we are going to be promoting and updating the names of the professionals that are going to be participating every month. What? At the end of the webinars during 2025, we are going to extend a certificate of attendance. You are going to receive a 40 hours attendance certificate that validates your attendance to these webinars. So during the session today and during the session every time that you connect, we are going to share a link where you can register your attendance. You can put your information, your email address, your telephone number, and we will register your attendance. And at the end of the webinars, we are going to submit a 40-hour certificates if you attended at least 80% of the webinars. So remember, that's something really important. If you attend at least 80% of the webinars, in total during the whole year, we are going to have 24 webinar sessions. So if you attend at least 80% of these webinars, you will receive a certificate validated by Yachay Tech University, ECUATESOL. All right, so that certificate will be validated by an university in ECUATESOL in Ecuador. So please be aware of that, be attentive to the chat. I will announce the time that I am going to share the link so you can register your attendance. So we will have different topics, different specialists during this whole 2025. Now, we are organizing an event as well in 2026. In 2026, we are going to have the annual ECUATESOL conference, no? So we are going to be discovering this year when is going to be the venue of this event. So if we have more attendees and more members from Guayaquil, we are going to do our conference in Guayaquil. If we have more attendees from Quito, we will do the conference in Quito. And why not if we have more attendees, for example, in Ibarra or in Riobamba or in another cities from Ecuador, we can do the ECUATESOL conference. So we let you know when it's gonna be and which is gonna be the venue for our 2026 ECUATESOL annual conference. All right, so wait for that. Now, today, I have the honor to present a friend of us, PhD Debra Suarez. She is the TESOL International President. So today we are connecting and uniting the TESOL community. TESOL International in ECUATESOL. Dr. Debra Suarez was here in 2024 in October, and she visited us, and she was in Azogues, in Quito, and in Ibarra. It was a pleasure to us to have her here, sharing her expertise with professionals from different cities. So we asked her again to be here because we want her to share her wisdom, her professional life, her professional expertise with teachers from all over the Ecuador. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Debra Suarez. She has an extended and amazing curriculum, but let me explain to you a little bit about Dr. Debra Suarez. She is a prominent figure with a wealth of experience in the field of TESOL and TEFL. As the current president of TESOL International Association, she stands at the forefront of global language education. With an impressive array of credentials and professional experiences, Dr. Suarez's career has been distinguished by significant contributions to the global ELT field. Debra began her career as a TESOL and TEFL classroom teacher. After earning her doctorate, she served as graduate faculty, directing universities' MA and PhD TESOL programs, and publishing and presenting in the field. Her international work includes creating TESOL teacher education programs in Panama, Korea, Mexico, Peru, and Ukraine. Over the years, she served as English language specialist for the U.S. Department of the State, providing teacher training, seminars around the globe, including West Africa, Eastern Europe, Mexico, the Middle East, South and Central America, and Southeast Asia. Debra expanded her impact into the realm of U.S. national outreach when she joined the U.S. Department of Education as the ELL Education Program Specialist. Designing and leading national multimillionaire dollar teacher education programs, she also served as the special designee for the Office of English Language Acquisition. She led national strategic public-private partnerships in support of language minority population as the senior advisor for the White House Initiative. After her election as president of TESOL International, Debra departed from federal service to focus on new contributions to ELT. In addition to serving in the TESOL presidential line, Debra is on faculty as an adjunct professor with the Johns Hopkins University graduate program in international teaching and global leadership. Debra recently founded Uplifting Teachers LLC, a global social entrepreneurship. Debra continues her research, book publications, and international speaking engagements. Her current emphasis is on developing the next generation of strong impact ELT educators and leaders. A lifelong learner, Debra holds a PhD in language education, MS TESOL, MBA in education business management. A favorite highlight of her career was when she was awarded Maryland TESOL's Lifetime Achievement Award. You can connect with Dr. Debra today, and you can follow her in the social media. It's my honor, it's my pleasure to present PhD Debra Suarez with a topic about effectively using professional teacher associations to advance our career growth and affect students' achievement. So it's my pleasure to have you here, Debra. Thank you so much for being here, and all yours.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for that introduction, and thank you for this invitation. I am honored to be here as one of your first speakers for this webinar series, Connecting and Uniting the TESOL Community. And I just want to say congratulations to all of you for being here on a Monday night after working all day. Here you are joining this webinar and connecting with your fellow teachers. So congratulations to all of you. As Daniel said, I'm the current president of TESOL International. I live in Maryland, in the US, which is very close to Washington, D.C. I am actually today I was at the TESOL offices in Virginia. We have a brand new executive director, and we welcomed her today in the TESOL offices. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but it's really cold where I am, and we have snow on the ground. And so I'm very thankful to be yours online, warm and toasty with all of you. As Danielle shared, I had the opportunity to visit Ecuador several months ago. Oh, look who's there, Maribel's little girl. Oh, I love seeing the babies come on screen. That's wonderful. I had the opportunity to visit Ecuador several months ago and to travel around and to give teacher education workshops. And what I saw was absolutely amazing with teachers coming together, leading themselves, organizing themselves to create or recreate teacher associations, a teacher association, especially Ecuador TESOL. So when Daniel reached out to me saying, "Hey, Deborah, would you please come and talk to the teachers as part of our webinar series?" I said, "Yes, of course I will. I will do whatever I can to encourage that community." So Danielle and I talked about what my presentation might be about, and we realized this might be a good time to talk about professional teacher associations. What are teacher associations? What are the benefits? What are the difficulties? And to open up a conversation. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I will start sharing my screen. So you should be able to see the screen. Great. Okay. The world of TESOL. The world of TESOL. Now, TESOL can be refer to our field, teaching English for speakers of other languages. It can also refer to our international association, TESOL International, and it can also refer to our affiliate, in this case, Ecuador TESOL, ECUATESOL. So let's talk a little bit about the world of TESOL, our world of TESOL, and the different corners of the world of TESOL. So Daniel and I thought we would talk about how can we use teacher associations to do these two things, to advance our career growth, but also to affect student achievement. Because for those of us who are educators, that's what we are ultimately interested in, right? Ultimately, we want to help our students achieve. Yes, we want to grow in our career path, but for what reason? In order to help our students achieve. And so professional teacher associations can help us with both of these. Now, before I get started further though, I'd like to open up the chat and I'm going to ask you to please, who is here in the room? Who is with us? Please put in the chat, are you teaching? If so, what level are you? Let's share. Say hello to each other and tell us who you are. Are you teaching? Are you in the classroom? Are you an administrator? The chat is open. And I'm not seeing anybody yet. Teacher from Loja, and I teach to teens. Oh, that's very difficult. Fernanda, I teach in primary and secondary. Jessica, okay. Lourdes, high school academic coordinator for Mercedes. I work like a teacher with teens. Oh, lots of high school. Okay. I teach kids. Thank you, Kati. Secondary. I'm a teacher in Riobamba. I'm a teacher from Cañar. Nice. Jose Alvarez, that name sounds familiar. I'm teaching kids. Great. So we have children, we have teachers of children, 6, 7, 8 years old. We have teachers of high school and teachers of teens. Hi, Lucia. Is anyone an administrator also? I teach teenagers. Okay. I teach children. Hi, Mercedes. Is anybody an administrator in addition to teaching or instead of teaching? That'd be interesting to see. Yes, no. Okay. Wonderful. Now, Daniel, I'm going to ask you, based on the responses here, do we have people from all over Ecuador?
Yes, we do. We have people from all over the Ecuador, from the north to the south of Ecuador.
Wonderful. Congratulations. I just can't believe how many people you have on a Monday night afterward from all over Ecuador. Yay, Ecuador. Yay. This is wonderful.
I always say that Ecuadorian English teachers are very committed and they always want to have a professional development, even though if it's a Monday or Sunday or Saturday, but they always are, want to have a professional training.
And we see that here. We see that here. All right. Congratulations. Thank you for participating in the chat and congratulations for being here. Okay. So I'm going to share with you. First, I'm going to talk about TESOL International, right? Just as Daniel already shared about Ecuador TESOL, I'm going to talk about TESOL International. Now, just a show of hands up. Oh, I just went back to the chat. I see Carmen said, I used to be a coordinator. Okay. Oh, and then we have Diego who shares, I'm studying, but in my practical process, I teach to children and teenagers. Thank you. All right. I would just like, if you would please, in the chat, put a thumbs up if you have heard about TESOL International. Just a thumbs up if yes, you have heard about TESOL International. Hi, Carlos. I see you're a teacher from Cuenca. Okay, thumbs up if you've ever heard of TESOL International. Okay. All right. So put in, I am new to TESOL if this is new information. I am new to TESOL. If you can put that in the chat, please. Okay. Thank you, Heidi. Carmen, I heard about TESOL in Ecuador. Okay. All right. Thank you, Wilma. It supports teachers around the world. So, Carmen, I am new to TESOL. All right. Me too, Maria. All right. So we have a mix, I think. Maybe you've heard of it. So this is a wonderful opportunity to talk about TESOL. The TESOL International Association is the largest association of English language teaching professionals in the world. We have thousands of members. I forget exactly how many. It changes a little bit every month, but we have about 10,000 members around the world. And as it says there, our mission primarily is to advance expertise in English language teaching. And we are the world's trusted global community. Now, this is about English language teaching. So our members are mostly teachers, but they are educators in different aspects of our field. So other aspects of our field are coordinators, researchers, university professionals, university professors, people who work in government offices. So anyone who is interested in the field of English language teaching in whatever capacity can find a place in TESOL International. We are based in Alexandria, Virginia, which is right next to Washington, D.C. And we achieve this mission not only with individual members, and you see all the people there raising their hands, but we also have what we call affiliates. An affiliate is a partner organization, and an affiliate can be from a country, and an affiliate can be from a state in the United States. We have over 100 affiliates around the world. So that's a little bit about TESOL International. We are teachers, we are researchers, professors, materials writers, if you're interested in material writing. We are around the world, and we are individual members, and we are affiliate members. Our vision, as it says there, we are a community of more than 10,000 English language professionals. We include instructors, professors, teacher educators, trainers, program administrators. You know, even though we do all of this, we have a small staff. We only have a staff of maybe 20, but our staff will team up with member volunteers from around the world. We team up with member volunteers. For example, what I'm doing with you right now. I'm not a staff member, but I work for TESOL as a volunteer, and here I am with all of you. Here I am teaming up with Daniel to bring you this webinar. Now, I want to talk about the affiliates a little bit. So as it says here, we have more than 100 English language teaching associations around the world. Now, these are independent associations. The affiliates are independent. So, for example, Ecuador TESOL is an independent organization. As Daniel has shared, ECUATESOL is the one recognized affiliate. That means that your president and vice president and secretary did all the hard work to fill out the paperwork, to connect with TESOL International, and to make sure that they did all the things they needed to do in order to be the recognized affiliate in all of Ecuador. Is there anything that you want to add, Daniel, to what I just said about what you had to do to become the recognized affiliate? Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, Debra, to explain. And yeah, since 2015, we have been working to do this or to build this organization, this association that is for English teachers in Ecuador. So thanks to TESOL International that we could connect, and we did the work to go there to TESOL International Convention because, as Debra is going to explain, every year they have an amazing convention that is every English teacher's dream to attend. So if you want to connect with that, you can connect with us as well because we can connect you with TESOL International. All right. And we can find professionals like Debra and another professionals from TESOL International that they all are always willing to share the knowledge, their expertise, their professionalism with teachers around the world. All right, so if you have any doubts or if you would like to attend to this conference and know a little bit more about TESOL International, this is the place, no? You can always connect with us as ECUATESOL. And as Debra mentioned to us, ECUATESOL, we are the official affiliate of TESOL International here in Ecuador. So follow us.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Daniel. So the affiliate is independent, but we are very much partners and we share a mission. As Daniel had on the screen a few minutes ago, the mission for ECUATESOL is very much aligned with the mission of TESOL, and TESOL International is aligned with the mission of ECUATESOL. So we're thought partners. We try to assist each other when we can, and there are some benefits for an affiliate to be an affiliate, especially leadership opportunities. But you are the affiliate, and congratulations on that. Now, if you go to the TESOL website, which is TESOL.org, and I should put that in the chat. Okay. If you go to TESOL.org, well, frankly, it's a big, busy website. It's not the easy, I don't mind sharing, it's not the easiest website to navigate, right, Daniel? You can get a little lost.
You can get a little lost, but with all the professional things that you get entertained, like you go and you see many opportunities that we as English teachers we have. So we get a little lost because of that.
Yeah, thanks for making it positive. But there are many, many things on the TESOL website that you can access even if you're not a member. So it's in front of any paywall. But one thing I want to share with you is that you can go on the TESOL website and see the list of affiliates. And you can see there where the heart is, you can see Ecuador TESOL. Do you see that? And well, maybe I should have moved the heart a little bit down, but there is Ecuador TESOL, and you can go on ECUATESOL and you will take you to the website for this organization. Now, I'm mentioning the affiliate directory because it opens your world. So you would have access not only to learning about what's happening at TESOL International or at ECUATESOL, but you have access to find out what's going on in the affiliate for Argentina TESOL or Bolivia TESOL, or if you scroll up, you'll see the United States and the different states. I was just in Alabama a few weeks ago, actually a week ago, and I was presenting at the Alabama conference, and there were people there from outside of Alabama. There were people there from outside of the United States. They saw Alabama TESOL and from Latin America and the Caribbean, and they came to Alabama TESOL because it was closer for them. So my point is that you can go online and look at the different affiliates and see what's happening around the world. Are there conferences that are online that you can attend? Sometimes the affiliates will have free attendance at conferences. They might want you to join to be a member, but sometimes they make the conferences free. So the point is you have this whole world open to you by looking at the TESOL website and looking at the affiliate directory. Oh, there's the arrow for Ecuador TESOL. And I went to the website and it's very colorful. It's very nice website. Okay, so let's talk about reasons for joining TESOL International, because I'm focusing at the moment on TESOL. So we have 5 top reasons that if we join TESOL, a professional teachers association, it can help us to connect and collaborate. In other words, engage with professionals from around the world. And we all know that ever since COVID, so much more is online and so much more is virtual, like we're doing here. And so TESOL has continued, of course, just like everyone else, TESOL has continued their virtual engagement. So we can connect and collaborate with others. We stay current in our field because TESOL helps us to do that. And we can contribute. Now, as teachers, we are learners, right? And so we always want to learn what's the newest methodology? What are people talking about? We also want to learn what are the newest textbooks, right? And TESOL does have a whole publications section where it will share with us the new information in the field. But you know what? teachers aren't only learners. Teachers also produce knowledge. We are knowledge producers. And so one reason to join TESOL or Ecuador TESOL is the opportunity to present at conferences, to maybe write a newsletter article, maybe to eventually do a research project and publish that research project. So the second reason for joining a professional teaching association is that we continue to learn, but we also have an outlet for sharing the knowledge that we produce. And you produce knowledge in your classroom every day. Every day. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. And then you can write that up. Write up a lesson plan and share it. Write up a teaching tip and share it. And that's a way to produce knowledge. Another reason to join TESOL is to access free as well as discounted resources. When you go to the TESOL website, you will get lost. I still get lost in our website because there's so much there. But we have many, if you're a member, you can get discounted materials. But you know what? We're not just about an association to keep the lights on. We also have many materials that are free and lesson plans that are free because we see this as a service to teachers around the world. Another reason to join TESOL is to engage in advocacy efforts. Now, advocacy in ELT, advocacy in English language teaching, is very diverse because our contexts are very diverse. For example, in the United States, advocacy tends to take the form where we lobby or we go to try and talk to our congressional representatives, our state representatives, our local representatives. That's what advocacy tends to look like in the United States. I'm a teacher. I want to try to affect my students and affect my life. So I will go and talk to my lawmakers, my representatives, my local and state and federal. But that's not the same way around the world. I don't know what advocacy looks like in Ecuador, but you do, right? And so engaging in advocacy can take many different forms, depending on where you are in the world. And TESOL, as an international organization, tries to address advocacy in different ways in different contexts. And advocacy can be trying to advocate for our students, but it can also involve advocating for our students' families. For example, TESOL International is very much a supporter of immigrants and refugee rights in the United States and around the world. You can better believe that TESOL International is already advocating for immigrants, refugees, doesn't matter, documented, undocumented in the United States. We're advocating because that's part of our mission, okay? I don't know what that looks like in different parts of the world necessarily, but they do, but you do. And TESOL International takes this very much to heart, that we are advocates. Okay, and a last reason to join TESOL is to develop leadership skills. As Danielle has already shared, there are many opportunities to help professional teacher associations because we run on volunteer power. We have it, like I said, TESOL International has a staff of 20 and they get paid. All the rest of us, we are volunteers. We do not get paid. But what do? We develop leadership skills. We engage in ways that are important for us. We affect our world. We grow our hearts, and hearts and minds. And that's why we do what we do. And so there are many leadership opportunities within TESOL. So here are just some reasons to join TESOL International. Now that is TESOL International, all right? And I just to let you know that every year TESOL has their big conference, our big conference, and Daniel mentioned it. This year, our big conference is going to be in Long Beach, California. And it's held March 18th through 21st. And this is the big conference. We have thousands of people attending. As it says here, if you register early, if you register by February 15th, you can save a little bit of money on the registration fee. You might be wondering, is it safe to go to California? Because you might be hearing about the wildfires. And I can share with you that we've been watching very closely, not just because of our conference, but because of our colleagues in California and our students and people we care about. So just to share that the Long Beach area in California does not seem to have been affected the way other areas of California have been affected. So we are anticipating that our conference will be okay, and we are anticipating that our colleagues who are in that area have not really been negatively affected. So we're very hopeful about the conference. Now, I want to share with you the very first conference that I went to, the very first TESOL International Conference that I went to. It was 1992, I want to say. 1992. Yes, that's how old I am. I've been around a long, long time. I started very young. I went to TESOL International Conference. It was being held in Vancouver, Canada. And I was a graduate student. I had not yet finished my master's degree, but I went because my professor said to all of us, if you can, go to the TESOL International Conference because it is the world of our field. It is the world. So I said, okay. I went with friends. We shared a car. We shared like one hotel room. We did our best to make our little bit of money go a long way. But I want to share with you the moment that I walked into that conference, I was home. I will never forget. I walked into the main lobby, and they had a flag from every country around the world, just a line of flags from countries around the world. And then there were people walking around who just looked so different, just so dressed differently. I heard all these different languages, and I was in the world, and I was hooked. And I don't know what your experience was, Daniel, at your very first TESOL conference, but you know what? If you don't mind sharing, I would love to hear the first TESOL conference experience that you had, if you don't mind sharing.
Well, thanks, Deborah. And I would like to share that. As I mentioned before, I think that attending to a TESOL conference is every teacher's dream. Like if you are those, I know that as I mentioned before, we Ecuadorian English teachers, we are very committed and we like to be in contact with professionals in the field. We like to write, we like to research, we like to do outreach programs and everything. So when I went there, the first time it was in Tampa last year. Last year. So I was amazed about the organization. You enter to the conference and you see people from all over the world. And as Deborah mentioned, something that I was so happy to observe that most of them are volunteers, like people from different parts of the world that they go there to volunteer. They saw everything organized. So you go, you register yourself, they give you your souvenirs and everything, all the materials that you are going to use the days of the conference. And then in every stand, in every place, you have very kind people directing you, guiding you to the different sessions, to the different presentations, the keynote rooms, and everything is so elegant, it's so nice. You can talk with different people. Actually, the last time that I was there, I met Debra, I met people from the embassy, I met another professionals, I connect as Deborah was mentioning, the idea is to connect with different professionals. So I connected with people there that I'm working right now in research projects. And I connected with people that they are doing the same research that I'm doing in my class about flipped class, about project-based learning, about new techniques and methodologies. So you can talk to people that is in the same level that you teach, and you can share about ideas, what is happening in Korea, what is happening in the States, what is happening in other places. So it was amazing to connect with these people and then go to the big place that they promote the things to. For example, I am very fan of, I'm not promoting any applications, but about, for example, Duolingo and quizzes and Quizlet, and to go to the big room where all these stands are, so you can see the real people that are working in these applications, and they receive your feedback to make better these applications according to the needs that you have, and then feel that experience going to the rooms and sharing your ideas and being part of an association that takes into account your opinion to continue building the professional English life. It's amazing. So that was something that I felt when I came back to Ecuador. I was like, like knowing people like I didn't expect it to know. So thank you very much. And then I met you there, Deborah. So it was a really nice experience.
Thank you so much for sharing. You never forget your first TESOL conference. Yeah, and I can share with you that I have always been a member of TESOL ever since that conference in 1992. But in addition to being a member of TESOL International, I have always been a member of whatever affiliate. So I lived in New York. I was a member of New York TESOL. I lived in Alabama. I was a member of Alabama TESOL. I live in Maryland now, and I'm a member of Maryland TESOL. And like Daniel, I went through the leadership, and I'm a past president of Maryland TESOL. But our geography is very small here. So we also have Washington area TESOL. I'm a member of Washington area TESOL. So you get the point. I've always been a member of my affiliate and international. Now, not everybody can travel to an international conference. So TESOL does have online events as well, and we will have virtual conferences as well. But this is we like to say the world comes to TESOL, and
So
this year it's
so
in Long.
so if you live in Ecuador, you have to be a member of ECUATESOL, right? And
If
if
I
you
lived in Ecuador, I would be a member of ECUATESOL.
yeah.
That's what I would do. And I'd be a member of all the countries right nearby. That's because you get different benefits, right? Okay, I shared with you advocacy is a big part of what TESOL does. So there's a picture of Jeff, the gentleman all by himself. That's Jeff Hutchinson. He's on staff. He is our director of advocacy, and he also is the affiliate coordinator. So Daniel, you know Jeff and you've worked with him. And Jeff puts together virtual advocacy days, but then we do an in-person in Washington, D.C. Again, advocacy looks very different around the world. And we do tend to focus on on U.S. advocacy because that's where a lot of our money comes from, our funding. So that really is where a lot of our funding. So we tend to focus heavily on the U.S. Side of it. But we know that our members are all around the world, and so international advocacy matters. But we do have advocacy days, and if you go online, we have, again, freely available resources about advocacy. By the way, I just came out with a book. It's called Decentering Advocacy. And I can put it in the chat when I finish speaking, but it's a new book It's called Decentering Advocacy, and every chapter is a different advocacy story from around the world. Each chapter is written by a different teacher or administrator from around the world. Now, I mention this because my colleagues, my fellow editors, are from different parts of the world. Kate Reynolds is from the United States. Grazia Chirinos is from Honduras. Okan Efyong is from West Africa. Georgios Korpas is from Saudi Arabia. And then there's me. I just meant this is an example. I met all of these people at TESOL. And now we just published a book together. And we actually had a webinar. Jeff organized a webinar where we presented on advocacy. So Daniel, please don't let me forget to share the name of that book and also to share that webinar recording with you, because you should be able to see it for free.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I thank you for that. All right. Here's something I want to share. It started in December, but TESOL has coordinated with T-Mobile, and we now have a new online community where we're talking about ELT digital literacy. Everybody's talking about AI and digital literacy, and so is TESOL. So we've teamed up with T-Mobile, and there are webinars that we've already started the webinars, but they will continue over the next several months. If you go to the website, you can learn about that. Now, this is an example of a workshop that we've had. It's clearly over, but I'm including it not only because there's a beautiful picture of Linda. Look at that big picture. Not only because there's a beautiful picture of Linda Wesley, pardon me, but to share with you that if you go online, go to the TESOL website, there are resources that you can download for free. And one of the things that you can download for free is what we call a quick guide to the 6 principles. Now, the 6 principles is a series of books that talk about the 6 principles of teaching English language teaching: advocacy, integration of language and culture, integration of language skills, etc. You can go to the website, you can see about the workshops. I think some of the workshops may cost something, but there are plenty of other resources that you can download for free. We also produce what's called TESOL Connections, and TESOL Connections is a publication for teachers, and these articles are they're brief. So it's something that a teacher can read quickly, right? We don't have a whole lot of time. Maybe you can read an article before you go to your next class or at the end of the day. But TESOL Connections is a really good resource for us because it's focused on what teachers do. And this is an example of where TESOL members can also try to produce knowledge and write about what's happening in their classroom. So members get it for free. Non-members can buy a subscription. So again, there are many benefits that are for members only, which is why we have membership. But then there are other benefits that we make available for free. One thing that TESOL offers is what's called a career center. This is an amazing resource. So people who have employers who have jobs available, they will post there. They actually will pay to post. But if you're looking for a job, and I do believe you need to be a member, you can go in and look for jobs. And these are jobs that are posted from around the world. So that is a really nice benefit, that where the employers will pay to post it, and then you as a job seeker can search without an extra cost. So I'm going to back up for a minute. Daniel, I don't know, that might be a good idea for ECUATESOL to do something similar. I don't know. You know your environment, but I don't know if that's something that you and your board can think about.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Debra, for bringing that to the table. Like, we are working on this. That's why we are now signing agreements with different universities and institutions in Ecuador. So the first agreement that we signed was with Yacha Tech University, and we are pursuing to have the agreement with the University of Education that we visited in Azogues. They are always promoting jobs for teachers, not only inside our universities, but in schools and high schools, in academies, in places that you can be part of. And remember that right now, virtual education in English is really important as well. So we have a lot of academies and organizations and institutions that are offering virtual English um, uh, courses. So we are keeping and considering like I have a database and promote. That's why it's so really important that you can be part of our network. No, you can register as a member. You can follow us in the WhatsApp group. You can follow us in Instagram because we will be promoting and updating information about future jobs, future opportunities that you can be part of. So thank you, Debra. Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you're already there. Wow. See, this is what, teachers coming together and sharing ideas. This is the power. This is an example of the power of teachers coming together and creating ideas and then making it happen. Congratulations on that. Okay, and then as I've already shared, members will get reductions on our bookstore and items that we sell in our bookstore. I encourage you, you can go and look, even if you're not a member, you can go to the bookstore and get a feeling for topics and titles that are out there.
And something, Deborah, that is really important to mention to our members and teachers from Ecuador is that TESOL has the opportunity for Ecuadorian teachers to register as a global member. So you already has a huge, amazing discount to register annually. And remember that what you pay in TESOL International is an annual fee, and you have tons of resources that you can use in your classroom. So we as Ecuadorians, TESOL gave us the opportunity to register as a global member. So you don't pay a full membership or full subscription. You pay as a global member, which is that we have already a discount and a benefit.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate your reminding us of that because it is, you can go to the website and it will look like a lot of money, but then when you look and see that where you are in the world matters, what country you're from matters. And because it's the membership fee is based on we get figures from, I think it's the World Bank, and we use the World Bank figures to adjust, right? So you're not paying as much as say somebody in the United States or England or something like that. Thank you for that. So yes, Ecuador members get a significant reduction to reflect those statistics. Okay, thank you for that. Now, what I was talking about TESOL International, but there are many teacher associations, including ECUATESOL. So based on what I've shared, or maybe other things that you know, let's just turn back to the chat. And if you can just list in your own words, benefits of being part of any professional teacher association. It doesn't have to be TESOL International. And so let's just share our ideas with each other. What are some of the benefits? And if anybody would actually prefer to talk, you can just come off mute. I believe, Daniel, are they allowed to unmute themselves or should they raise their hand?
No, they can unmute themselves without any
Okay,
problem.
thank you. So please put in the chat some of your ideas. What are the benefits that maybe I haven't talked about? Or just come off mute and share your thoughts.
Maybe Heidi would like to share. Heidi Mogrovejo is here, I think. She's one of the first volunteers that we have in ECUATESOL, and she's helping us to organize this round of webinars. She's been working really hard to make all the contacts to some of the Ecuadorian professionals to make possible. Remember that This week on Thursday, we are going to have another webinar with a national professional. I will share that in the WhatsApp group and through email as well. So, Katie, would you like to share with us any of the ideas? How do you feel being member of ECUATESOL and helping us organizing everything?
Hello, everyone. How are you? Debra, it's nice to have you here. And it's really an honor to be here. Well, I think that being part of ECUATESOL is nice because, first of all, we have this safe space for English teachers because, you know, in Ecuador, we are that unquote special teachers that get set apart, and having this space is great for sharing ideas, is great for professional development. As the teachers here in the chat say, we can share strategies and become more confident, you know.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
Or
sharing.
other things,
Yeah, it's
we
nice.
can share these things. Yeah, sorry.
No, please, I sort of jumped in. I love what you say about confidence. All of this helps us to be confident. You know why? Because it helps us to be better prepared. Everything that we learn from being in an association. I remember my professor, when I was back doing my master's, saying something like that. He said, you're going to be nervous when you first start teaching, but you get your confidence when you're prepared. And so I like what you shared about being prepared and having confidence. We're getting lots of things in the chat. We have, let's see, Jessica said participate in webinars. Yes. And look, we're talking to each other. When would we have a chance to talk to each other from around Ecuador and around the world? Carmen, having a support network for teaching activities. I can get lots of lesson plans from each other. Applying for new jobs around the world. At least learning about those jobs too. And if you see what the jobs are, then think about, do I need to do something else to prepare? Do I need a certificate or a degree? Maybe I need a kind of a visa. So yes, learning about jobs around the world. Paola, professional development. Gina, share strategies for the classroom. That's a big one. Learning strategies from each other, learning teaching activities. Jimeni, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly, develop leadership skills, being connecting and having the opportunity, and then to collaborate. Yes. Diego, the benefit most important, I consider, could be sharing the experiences and resources available in the association. So what can the association offer?
I think
Mercedes.
that Carmen is raising her hand.
Oh, Carmen, please share. Yes.
Hi, ma'am. It's nice to meet you, Deborah. And I think the benefits that we can just see through this is like meet more new colleagues, the ones that they are related in education, how they can share and exchange their experiences and how we can just learn from those. There is another thing that we can keep updated from new technologies, the ones that they are lately, based on how education is developing. Strategies that of course we can just share and exchange. There are new ones that they are using in another places. I'm sorry. And of course, the resources that you can use and the way that you can apply and how they are showing growth and the ones they are working and the ones that you can just stop working with and then just continue using those. I mean, it's like a big benefit.
Thank you, Carmen. And the only thing I would say, what you make me think of is that it helps us to be less alone. I mean, maybe you're maybe you're one English teacher in a school or one of
Yeah,
few.
yeah, definitely you're right. Yeah, sometimes that is the role that we have to play in there. Yeah, definitely you're right. I agree with you.
Yep, less alone. And Mercedes says something similar. It can help you feel supported and connected to a larger community. And Janeth, there are a bunch of benefits. International support, yes. International support. And my situation is not going to be the same as yours, but it's going to be similar. And we can learn from each other. And Mercedes continues free access to teaching resources. Yes. Learn new strategies, as Jessica shares. And Gabby, update knowledge and share experiences. Great. These are wonderful. Let's see what else we have. You know, I want to say, Jose says webinars really help to improve teaching skills. You know what? Webinars also help us to improve our own speaking and listening skills as well for all of us. So yes, teaching, but also our own learning. Social media to learn new methods. Currently, social media is globally expanded around the world. Thank you, Kati. All right. Thank you for that. So you all came up with many more than what I have, but here are 8, and I think you've all kind of talked about them. Why be part of a professional teacher association? Professional development, networking, leadership, advocacy, access to resources. You know, we didn't talk about mentorship. We didn't talk about that. You know, mentorship can be formal or informal. You know, informal mentorship, I think, is kind of what Daniel, what you and I do when we have conversations. We informally mentor each other. So, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good
that's
idea.
right.
Right?
What do we do in this way or in another way or something? So that's great.
Informally, and we learn and grow from each other. But then there are formal mentorship opportunities. TESOL International does have formal mentorship. There are only a few of the opportunities, but there are opportunities. I still participate in Maryland TESOL, and we have a formal mentoring program that I help to lead with a colleague. So mentorship, formal and informal, is so important. You know, mentorship can help us, especially when things are so difficult and we become frustrated and we think about maybe leaving the teaching field. We know that teachers don't stay in the teaching field for very long. We know that. All around the world, every country struggles with this. Every country struggles with keeping teachers. And mentoring and all of these other benefits help to keep teachers in the field because it helps them to better understand their field. All right.
And something that is a reality here in Ecuador, and I believe in other places around the world, is that, for example, we have teachers that they feel sometimes isolated or they feel a little depressed because there is one teacher in the whole school or 1 or 2 teachers in the whole high school. They have a lot of students. So sometimes they feel like their work is not kind of improving because they don't know what to do with all that pressure that they have for parents and authorities and all the preparation and all the things that they have to comply every single day, every single year, school year. So count on that, as Debra was mentioning, the mentorship. We can help, all right? We as an ECUATESOL Association, we can help. Like, you don't have to feel like you are isolated, you are alone. Yeah, if you need something, if you feel like you are not having the collaboration from the Ministry of Education or another public institutions, counting ECUATESOL to be that safe place that you can come here and you will find professionals as Heidi, as another people from other universities and volunteers that are working with us in ECUATESOL, that we can connect you with international professionals of Debra and another professionals from around the world, and then we can help you with that. So that's something important that you have to feel that you have a safe place where you can belong.
Thank you, Danielle. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. That safe place where somebody understands. You know, and it can make a big difference between not just staying in the field, but how we experience our everyday lives if we're talking to others. And I see that Jimeni just put in the chat also webinars to improve our own conversational English and academic English. When I came to the conference in Ecuador several months ago, that was one of my workshops. And I talked about putting together an English language practice club. Remember, Danielle? I'd be happy in several months from now, if you'd like me to bring that webinar to the group, I'd be happy to do that in a few months after you. I know you have people waiting to present.
But that'd be awesome to have you again, Deborah. The presentation that you did in Quito, for example, where you put teachers together, one teacher to present to the other ones, and the other one make comments, and then talk to each other, as is mentioning in the chat, to bring that together, because that's true. As you mentioned before, this is a really an amazing opportunity that we have to connect, not only like professionally, but we can practice our English. We can practice because sometimes at work, we don't have that time. And then we go back home, and in our homes, we don't practice English as well. So this can be a place where we can practice that. So I'll be really happy, and all of us that we are here, we will be honored if you can help us with that presentation. That'd be awesome. Just let us know the month, the date, the time. We will be happy to be here.
That sounds wonderful. And I know you have a lot of people who want to present and got to give everybody a chance. So maybe after Big TESOL. Yeah, and we talked
Yeah,
about,
great.
if we come together as teachers and we have English language practice circles, we can practice teaching to each other. And what that helps us to do, if we talk about the lessons in English, it helps us to develop our English academic language, right? Okay, wonderful. And then, of course, career advancement. When Danielle introduced me, and I'm sorry for that long introduction, but when Daniel introduced me, he talked about the different career paths I've had. So I started as a teacher, as you know. After getting my PhD, I was a professor. I then moved into the U.S. Department of Education, was doing that work. I was then in the White House working on language resources. I did that work. I can share with you, again, I was always a member of TESOL. It was my consistency, and not just TESOL, but my affiliate. No matter what aspect I was engaged in my job, my consistency was TESOL. And I absolutely know that being part of TESOL helped me in my career advancement, and not just big TESOL, but my local affiliate as well. And then community building. But you already know this already. You came up with a lot of ideas. Now, we're talking a lot about benefits. Let's be realistic for a moment, and let's talk with each other about some difficulties. What are some difficulties that might hinder us from being part of a professional teacher association? In other words, why might it be difficult to be a member? What are some difficulties? Let's kind of be honest and put those ideas out there. What are some difficulties with being a member of a teacher association? You can put it in the chat. You could come off mute. Yes, Paula. Economy. Yes, and that I think you're talking about membership fees. Yes, absolutely. That is for the associations that charge membership fees. That can be difficult. Maria says the same thing. That's a difficulty. Jessica, maybe I couldn't receive all the information about courses or webinars. Yes, sometimes you just don't get all the information. So sometimes it's hard to stay on top of the information, or the website isn't as easy as you would like. Okay. Janeth, have the obligation to travel too far from my city without having the time or permission to do that. That's right. That is, you're talking about that sometimes there's a conference and you just don't have the time, you're not being given the ability from your supervisors to take the time off. And Mercedes, time commitment. These are all real. The cost and the time. It takes cost. It takes something to participate. Time and cost. Anything else? All right. That's realistic. Let's problem solve. Open discussion. How can we mitigate those difficulties? So we've already shared that difficulties are cost and money. Let's talk about this. Does that mean we don't participate? Does it mean we participate differently? Oh, Mercedes says some disagreement among members. That's very true, very true. And I think you mean disagreement in how to run the organization. Okay. What I would respond to there, having been part of running the organizations, is it's really hard, but that's part of leadership development. You learn how to talk to each other. It's hard, but you learn how to talk to each other. You learn how to get your point across and still keep a good relationship. Right, Daniel? Okay.
That's true, yes.
So let's problem solve. We've said that difficulties that might hinder us from participating would be time and money. Let's talk about that. How can we address those difficulties? Come off mute or put in the chat, please.
Well, for ECUATESOL, we are not charging any fee now, so that difficulty will be solved for this year. So as long as you are part of our list of members, you can attend to all the webinars that we organize for 2025. No? So welcome to do that.
Excellent. And thank you for doing that. And some affiliates do that. They don't charge for membership, which is wonderful. Then they might charge for other things, but they don't charge for membership. So that's very good. Now, Mercedes suggests maybe prioritize the events when we cannot attend. That is a great solution. Can't attend all of them, so you prioritize, so you plan ahead. And that would mean engaging and getting the information as best you can. Jeanette, it would be good to have with at least 6 months in advance. Okay, if that's possible. That's very possible. Sometimes you have to help to organize things for that far in advance, because sometimes, and especially when you're dealing with volunteers, Jeanette, sometimes things just don't pop up until a couple weeks in advance. But yes, you're right. If you can get that much time in advance, especially if your supervisor is asking for it. Heidi says we could organize asynchronic activities. Yes. So you don't have to be there live. You can watch it later and give economic support to certain members. That's exactly what TESOL does, as Danielle reminded us that we have our global membership. Practice every day in different ways. Gina, what do you mean by that? Gina, you say practice every day in different ways. Do you feel comfortable coming off mute and telling us more or putting in the chat? What do you mean, Gina?
I say that because the difficult for me is listening, maybe, and I think that if I practice every day at least 1 hour, or and we have a conversation with another teacher, or listen videos, listen to music, I can improve my difficulty.
Thank you very much for coming on and explaining that to us a little bit more. Yes, yes, and I know this can be very tiring, almost 2 hours listening in English. But as you say, if you continue to practice it every day in different ways, listening to music, then you can take better advantage of these development webinars you can take better advantage of that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gina. Mercedes. Okay, seek mediation. Yes, I'm going to tell you. TESOL board, TESOL International, we do conflict. We receive conflict resolution training. Not that we do it, we receive it. Yes, that's a very good point. Carmen, what do you say here? Categorize important and urgent events, finding ways, having an agenda. Okay, very nice. I want to come back to the cost again. I know it's hard, and I know what I'm about to say may not always happen, but I can share that there are many people who join TESOL not because they have the money themselves, but because their schools will pay. So at least for TESOL International, we do have what's called institutional membership. And there are some schools who will pay the membership for their teachers. I don't know. Maybe you can talk to your principals, your administrators, and perhaps they can sponsor some of your teachers to join or to go to workshops. So there might be, and Daniel, only you can lead that conversation because I'm not in Ecuador, but I do know at least in some places, the administrators will support. Sometimes
Yeah.
administrators will only support if the teachers are presenting, but there might be a way. And you were starting to come off mute. Did you want to say something, Daniel?
Yes, and thanks for taking into account that there might be a way, like if we work together as an association, as an organization with the education and institutions, we will have some meetings with the Ministry of Education because there is a budget for training for teachers in all the institutions. So I like that idea to say prioritize events. So what we can mention and book in agenda that when we have these sessions, these face-to-face, for example, conference and events, you can prioritize that event. We can put into budget and then we can ask to the educational institutions where you belong, school, high school, or university, to kind of sponsor your attendance to those events. There are regulations in Ecuador, no, that the certificate has to be approved by the Ministry of Education. We have some different institutions, as I said, even the Ministry of Education that regulate education in our country, but not impossible. So if we work as a team, if we work as an association with you as teachers, we can try to find ways to do that. And institutions support your professional training development, including all the events organized by ECUATESOL and why not to TESOL International.
Wow, thank you. So, so there are ways around it. And, when it goes to traveling, if you need to travel to a different town in Ecuador for a conference, there's sharing expenses. As I told you, my very first TESOL conference, I was a student. My friends and I, we shared costs. All of us stayed in one room. It was silly, but we were young and we were able to do it. But there are ways to mitigate those costs, and then of course prioritizing. Okay, if you would like, please join TESOL International, become a member, but absolutely, absolutely, absolutely become a member of ECUATESOL. That it really is the starting point. And that's from your website. And that was a picture of us in Tampa. And I have to tell you something. I almost wore my pink jacket tonight. I'm so glad I didn't. I would have looked exactly like that.
But that would be awesome to see you the same jacket that I made
Oh,
you the first time.
so funny. This is my LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, please connect with me. But yeah, and then connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd love to hear from you. But with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and really just open up for conversation before I turn it over to Daniel. But any comments that you might have, anything that you'd like to add?
just don't forget, you told me to remind you if you can share the name of the book and those resources for teachers. And I really like for all of you that you are attending today to if you have any questions to Debra, she is our president from TESOL International. So she knows everything about what is how to run associations, be part of associations. So you can ask if you have any questions to her. And as Debra mentioned, no, I shared some of the WhatsApp group link and the forms link where you can register as a member of ECUATESOL, so you can be part. Right now, I am going to share the attendance link, so you can register your attendance. Remember what I mentioned, that if we attend at least 80% of the webinars that we are going to offer through 2025, you will receive a certificate, 40-hour certificate validated by Yacha Tech University and TESOL in ECUATESOL. So please register your attendance. Don't forget to do that. You have there a space where you can ask questions, concerns, or any information that you might need. You can always ask. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions to Debra.
Thank you for that reminder, because I put the title of the book and the link to the book, but what I really want to share with you is the link to the webinar. Here we go. Here we go. This is a link to the webinar. It's a free webinar. You should be able to access it. This is the webinar based on the book because I'm not selling books. I'm not selling books to you guys, but you should be able to access the webinar. Okay. You should be able to, and the webinar that I'm talking about is a webinar based on the book. We had 3 or 4 authors who wrote chapters present. So it's not about the book per se, but it's about chapters from the book. Well, I'm not seeing any comments or hands raised, but I just want to say how amazed I am with all of you that you're here and you stayed online for 2 hours. I think only one person dropped off from what I can see. You all stayed here. So I'm just so honored to be here. And I wish you all the very best. And certainly, Daniel, you and I will continue to connect and see what it is I can do, if anything, to support Ecuador TESOL. So thank you, my dears. And I'll turn it back to you, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Debra. Your professionalism, your commitment with English teacher education around the world is amazing. I will really say that it was my honor to meet you there in TESOL International. It was my
I think we lost your sound at the end.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I was saying that I was honored we were honored to have you here in Ecuador last year. So thank you very much for that, your commitment, your professionalism with teachers, with sharing. So I make the compromise to you whenever you have time to share with all teachers here about the circles that you did when you were presenting here. That was an amazing opportunity for teachers to present and to know how they can go to their schools and do this activity and practice that with another teachers from the field. So thank you so much. Again, I have no words to thank you for being here, for taking your time as well, as you mentioned, in the cold weather and everything. So thank you very much. And thanks all the teachers for being here. Again, please register as a member of ECUATESOL, follow us in WhatsApp group, follow us in Instagram. I am going to be posting the next webinar that we have this coming Thursday, and then the list of webinars for February, because we will have two. One is about flipped class methodology. How can you apply flipped class, or how can you use flipped class in your classrooms with professionals and colleagues from me from Yachay Tech University. And then I am going to continue sharing the list of webinars that we are going to have during the whole year, including the one that Debra promised to repeat again with us. So thank you very much for being here. If you have any questions, I think, Carmen, you have your hand raised. You have any questions?
Yes, sir. I was just clicking on the link that you have shared in the chat, and that when I click it in there, it showed me in a window that it says like members registration e-form. And I don't know if that is the link that we need to register our attendance.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I may have clicked on the wrong one. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, so I get confused on that.
Okay, let me check the link of the attendance. Let me just click for 1 minute. And I'm sharing again. The one that you have, that was the registration to be a member of ECUATESOL. So if you say
Exactly.
it's because you are our member now. So we will be sending you information. But the one that I share right now, the say forms.office.com, that's to register your attendance of today. So don't forget to register your attendance, because that's really important at the end to consider for the final certificate. No. So
Yes. Are you going to send now, you says, Mr. Casco?
yes,
Oh,
is
yeah.
there, I
There you
think.
go. I
Yeah,
get it.
you got.
Appreciate. Thank you so much for the clarification. Appreciate.
No, thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
Debra,
Carmen.
too.
So
Yeah.
that's the link, so you can register your attendance. Please write your information so we can have that. And as I mentioned before, follow our social media or network, because we will be promoting all the events, all job opportunities, as Deborah mentioned. This is the place that we want to have ECUATESOL, no? To have promotion of jobs and the webinars and training sessions and everything. And don't feel afraid to contact us. We have our email address at equatesol@gmail.com as well. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any suggestions, any recommendations, and something that Deborah was mentioning, that associations work with volunteers. So I see faces like that I saw in Azogues, in Quito, and Cuenca, for example, Janet, nice to see you here, and Heidi and Jessica and Mercedes, really nice to see you again here. So if you're willing to be volunteers of us, please sign up or send your information. We need volunteers to organize events, to help us with all information. And a part of that being volunteer, it's the first step to be part of the board members. So if you are volunteer of us, the idea is that in the future, you can be our president, our vice president, our secretary, because we want to give that lead to people committed to work for our ECUATESOL Association. All right. So thank you very much. I hope that you will have a lovely and wonderful night. Don't forget to register your attendance. And thanks again, Deborah, for being here and taking the time. Thank you so much.
Hi,
Bye,
thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Have an amazing and lovely night.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Deborah. Thank you so much. It was lovely to see you, and thank you again for everything.
You're welcome, and thank you, and lovely to see you too. Say hi to everybody for me, okay?
Thank you so much. Say hi to your husband as well. Thank you.
I will.